up, y'all? It's me, Erica, and we are down here. Peace, y'all. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica, honey, and we are down here, girl. Now, we don't have anything to talk about. I've already talked about New Jersey. So let's go to the blog and see what's going on.
I sponsor the blog.
Let me tell you something.
I have some things that I saved. I've been like snapshotting and saving things. So let's see what's goings on. All right, let's see. Jonathan Majors hit with a new charge in a domestic violence case that carries up to a year in prison. Lawyer DA claims DA's office is on a witch hunt. It says update. This is from the Jasmine brand. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. Let the diva know you stopped by. Okay. This is from the Jasmine brand. It says Jonathan Majors was hit with a new charge in his domestic violence case this morning. Jonathan Majors appeared virtually in court on Tuesday, 6 weeks after being arrested for alleged DV incident with his ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabari. The actor's attorney condemned the proceedings, calling them a racial bias that permeates the criminal justice system. You better pull the race card. The DA office has made a public and supplemental complaint of third-degree assault against the Creed 3 actor. I feel like if you are a black man and you decide to partner with a white woman and y'all get into a DV situation, I don't think that you can pull the race card. I don't think, even though it might be, and even though the remnants and historical references and all that stuff can be applied, and you can turn around and say, white women do this and white women do this, but you entered into a relationship with a white woman willingly. Nobody twisted your arm. You know, if it goes south, what can be implied. So that's the risk that you take. So I feel like throwing the race card in there, I feel like if I was a judge, I'd be like, no, you knew what you was getting involved with when you got with the white woman. If it goes downhill, then you know what it is. That's how I feel. The DA's office has made a public and supplemental complaint of the third-degree assault against the Creed 3 actor. The highest potential penalty for a Class A misdemeanor is 12 months in jail, 3 years on probation. Majors did not enter a plea for the new charge, according to Deadline. Majors' next court appearance is scheduled for June 13th. The judge informed him that he must attend the hearing in person. I'm required to inform you that, as you know, if you fail to appear in court on June 13th, a warrant can be issued for your arrest within 48 hours. And if you're brought back on a warrant, the next judge can revoke and even set bail. I obviously don't want that to happen. Judge Pauly warned the actor that he must follow the order of protection, which prohibits him from having any contact with the alleged victim. Major's attorney, Priya Chaudhry, was critical in her evaluation of the DA's case. We have provided the DA with irrefutable evidence that the woman is lying, including video proof showing nothing happened, especially not where she claimed, the lawyer stated. A witch hunt against Jonathan Majors driven by baseless claims, she added. So not where she claimed. Their video proves and irrefutable evidence. But then the text messages that were released shows her talking about going to the hospital and being strangled or something like that. So I don't know what's going on with Jonathan Majors, but you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's like, what are you doing? And then, you know, there's a lot of people who came out that said, you know, after all this, that says that he has a history of being violent with people. And you know, this is just coming out. It's not a witch hunt. It's you being held accountable for your actions against another person. What do you mean a witch hunt? What are they trying to do? What are they trying to take down Jonathan Majors? Girl, bye. Yeah, if you did it and it comes out that you did it and we're going to go by what the courts say, then that's just what it is. That's just what it is. Cardi B to seize $640 from Tasha K's YouTube account as she still owes her millions after losing the defamation lawsuit. Looks like Cardi B will be receiving another payment from Tasha K's YouTube account after the rapper reportedly informed the Google rep there's another $640 in revenue ready to be collected. According to the court documents obtained by Radar Online, Cardi has already received $9,304.81 from Tasha's YouTube earnings after serving Google, who owns the video sharing platform. Since Tasha was doing everything she could to delay the process of paying up the money she owes. As previously reported, Cardi filed a right of execution against the unreliable news blogger, not the unreliable news blogger, and her company, KB Studios LLC, to recover $3,868,753.47. This amount is owed from the 2019 defamation lawsuit in which Cardi B sued Tasha K for accusations of prostitution, drug use, and falsely being accused of having an STD. The right authorized Cardi B to seize Tasha K's assets, and the amount owed was not paid promptly. Despite Tasha K's insistence that she doesn't have the money to pay up, Cardi B is determined to get what she is owed. And it seems like she's not above getting a little creative with her methods, as she's expected to seize another $640 from her ad revenue over this lawsuit win. Following Tasha's bizarre accusations, Cardi B provided medical records showing she's never had herpes and that the allegations caused her emotional distress. As a result, Tasha K was ordered to pay $4 million in damages. That's a lesson. You learned a $4 million lesson, and all she had to do was remove the videos. Can you imagine how full of ego, like how your ego will have you in the bushes? Every time I think about like large egos having you in the bushes, when I think of that, when I say in the bushes, I think about Evan Lozada running after OG, and then when she turned around and she fell into the bushes because she was so in her ego about this woman that just like not thinking that if I just remove these videos, none of this would have happened. And you wanted to stay steadfast in your lies and accusation and allegations, and look at what it's cost you. God, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine it. I really can't. Let's see. Dr. Umar responds to Suki shooting her shot. Yeah, Sukiana said that she is a conscious sister and she wants a man like Dr. Umar, and he turned around and told her that she would basically have to change who she was and he'd give her a chance or something like that. I would actually like to see that union happen. I would love to see it. It would be such a spectacle. I would love to see Dr. Umar Johnson and Suki with the good cookie. What is her name? Sukiana with the good coochie. I would love to see that union. Baby, girl, I would love to see it. So it says Dr. Umar said he might give Sukiana a chance. Here he goes.
Are you ready to reinvent yourself from your current style of art to a revolutionized, re-energized Black consciousness form of art? Because if you are willing to reinvent yourself as the queen of Black conscious music, I will stand by your side. Dr. Umar, right?
Here.
So
here's what she said.
But I love a Pan-African king. You know, King Kong. King Kong consciousness. I'm very pro-Black, so I care about my people. And I feel like if I was to pick somebody to fuck on, it would be Dr. Umar. And that's what I said in Grinch. Dr. Umar, leave him woke right now. I want to Dr. Umar, leave him woke right now, because I do got that woke pussy. If I was to meet Dr. Umar, he would shoot his shot with me, because he gonna see me Black chocolate conscious queen that need a little guidance and daddy issues, and I feel like he know exactly what to do with me. You want to fuck Dr. Umar, right?
Baby, I would love to see it. Talk about a spectacle. I would love to see Dr. Umar and Sukiana with a good coochie get together. I would love to see that union happen. Please make it happen so that I could come down here and talk about it. Please, I would love to see it happen. I would love to see it happen. Update: Trump found guilty on SA, will pay $5 million in damages. Jury rejects E. Jean Carroll's RAPE claim against Donald Trump, but finds him liable for battery in the 1996 attack. He's such a clown. He is such a clown. Yeah, he needs to pay up, pay the money, pay the people the money. Let's see what else is going on. That was from Neighborhood Talk. They didn't really have a good caption on that. Okay, so let's see. This is something that someone tagged me, and shout out to y'all who tagged me in different posts on IG. I really appreciate it. It helps me kind of gather topics to talk about. But this is on an episode of So Shameless. It says Daj made a point that in order to sustain a partner who believes in traditional roles, you have to have the capacity to fulfill those traditional roles as well. Respectfully, what do you think? When our cars are being ran by electricity and our homes being powered by the sun, this idea that you want to play the role of traditional roles in your household, it doesn't make sense mathematically. Asking people what they bring to the table, when your table is made out of particle board, it's like you don't even have a solid table to come to. Asking somebody what they bring to the table in order to play these traditional roles, it's odd, because in real life there is a small percentage of men who can actually play the traditional role in which they are the sole breadwinner and bringing in the money and financially holding down the household while the woman stays at home, as if this is the 1970s. And for Black women, there is a small percentage of Black women married to men where they can actually stay at home and financially depend on a man to sustain their household. I, for one, think it's absolutely asinine to actually put yourself as an adult human to depend on another adult human to financially sustain you. I feel like you should not put that much trust and stock into anyone to financially take care of you. I don't know what kind of fantasy some of y'all want to live in, but I don't think that it is smart to do that, to play that role. Let's listen to what they're saying.
You don't want a lot of women that just bring good looks. You don't want somebody that could bring something to the table. So that doesn't necessarily mean that they have to bring what you bring to the table, but bring something else. Compliment me.
Back in the day, being pretty was enough. Like, that was enough to get married. And then the table was created afterwards. I feel like a lot of men that don't have money are always asking, what else, what else, what else? But a lot of men that do have money, looks are completely enough. If you want this traditional woman, you have to be just as traditional. And when I say traditional, I don't mean toxic. I don't mean like sit there, sit cute, don't think, don't speak. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you have to be as traditional as you want your woman to be. And I think that's where a lot of these men, these nuanced men, are up. You want a traditional woman, but there is nothing traditional about you. You can't work at Popeyes talking about you want a traditional woman, because traditionally you cannot sustain me or this household with your Popeyes salary.
There's a lot of women that just bring good looks. You don't want.
It's when they say traditional, you have to understand that means that the man is the center of the world. You are doing whatever you need to do to make sure the man is comfortable. If y'all want to play those roles and play those games, I don't understand in 2023, why is that something you want to play with? Like, why do you want to depend on another human being to sustain you? I don't understand that. I don't get that at all. I don't even understand how the brain could wrap its head around. How could you wrap your mind around being an adult woman looking for a man to depend on, when it all goes down and when it's all said and done? You see how these men financially abuse women. You see how these women, even if they were contributing in different ways to the household, when it's all said and done, the man acts like, oh, all this money is mine. You didn't do anything. You was just staying at home, as if being a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home wife, if you don't have children, how you're not essentially a house manager. You're making the bills, making sure the bills are paid, making sure the house is kept in order, making sure all of these things. You're basically a house manager. And if there's children, you're doing meal preps and doing all of these things, and you are actually contributing. But when the marriage actually breaks down and the relationship breaks down, they go to the lawyer acting like you didn't do anything and you didn't contribute anything. And then these men financially abuse women. I don't understand why you would even take the risk in putting yourself in that position, to where you have, what are you bringing to the table? What are you talking about? Shut up. First of all, I can duplicate you. That's what I bring to the table. That's number one. You can have a legacy through me, through my body. What are you talking about? And it's like, what do you want them to bring to the table? If it's just so weird, even somebody asking that question to a woman and saying that I want it to be a traditional way. These men are not traditional. The protector and provider comes from the Bible. Half of these men don't have a relationship with any spiritual element ever. They don't go to church. They have no connection to God. They actually don't know or don't even understand that there's something bigger than themselves at play here. They it's a very weird dynamic, and I just really don't understand why any woman would put herself in a position to depend on another human being, a fickle human being, somebody who can wake up one day and say, you know what, I don't want to be married anymore. You didn't contribute nothing. You get nothing. I'm going to go to court and fight for everything and say you didn't contribute anything. I just don't understand it. I will never understand it. I will never understand being financially dependent on another adult as an adult. Like kids, that's normal, right? The kids are financially dependent on the parents for however long or whatever. But an adult with a sound mind, an adult who can actually work, an adult who can make their own decisions, who have all their faculties depending on another adult human being who can just get up and change their mind one day, putting your livelihood in somebody else's hands. There's not that much love and trust in the world. I will never understand that. I just will never understand that. Let's read some of the comments. And she's right, but you guys are in the comments letting it fly over y'all wigs and toupees. She said a man will want a traditional woman and nothing about them is tradition, meaning traditionally back in the day. Right. Why are you in the year of electric cars and solar powered homes wanting to mimic a time when women did not have rights and where they needed to depend on a man? They couldn't even open a bank account without a man's signature. They couldn't even go get a divorce. Okay. If they wanted to leave, they could not do that. Why in the world would you want to play that game? I just don't understand it. It says the women took care of the house and the children. She says stop looking for things in people that you don't qualify for yourself. And if you want a traditional girl, you want a girl that has a job, you're not a traditional man. Exactly. If you want to be traditional and play that game, the tradition is she's dependent on you because she has no rights. So she wants to play that game with you. I don't understand why you would want to mimic a time when women didn't have rights and needed a man to depend on in order to live. I just don't understand it. I speak people are able to hear past the words that may trigger them and hear that what she's stating. Traditional is glorified until it's required by both parties, man or woman. Most want imagery and not the reality. They don't want traditional, they want subservient. The Popeye salary men who want traditional wives want full control and not a healthy relationship. Yeah, and those men that approach that, they want dominance and they want control. And they look for women who want to play those games because in reality, you are the only one that they can dominate and control instead of actually going out and dominating other men and becoming a powerhouse in that way. They want to dominate a woman. And a lot of women who want to play that role, they'll find themselves in relationships with men who just want to control them. And it never works out. It says, if you want to take traditional roles, you better step up and have full participation in your traditional roles. We may not do the same things for the household, but we will be equals in this relationship. I will not settle for your bang maid because you think you can afford a traditional woman when you don't want to put in the work yourself. Here's another person. I don't know why this conversation is still going on because the traditional marriage does not apply to many Black families. Black women have been working. They were working as housemaids, cooks, helping white women raise their kids. When we speak of traditional, we're speaking on a lifestyle that many, not all Black families weren't afforded. But when you listen to other women talk about living in that traditional role, you have to listen to how unsatisfying their home life was. You have to listen to how they were abused in their positions because they were dependent on somebody else, like an animal dependent on somebody. They were abused. So yes, Black women have never been able to be stay-at-home moms. I mean, a very small percentage, right? There's a very small percentage, but there's never really been a time where a vast majority of Black women have been able to actually participate in a traditional marriage, where they are dependent on a man. I just don't like dependent on a man to financially sustain you. Makes me want to vomit. It makes me want to projectile vomit and all over the walls. I just don't get it. I just don't get why any woman in her right mind would want to put herself in that position and fantasize a time where women didn't have rights and had to depend on men. I just don't get it. She's 100% wrong. Women never just brought looks. They brought balance, they brought comfort, and they brought an understanding of what's needed for the family to succeed. Women ran the household and they just didn't run rich households. They ironed all clothes, they cooked all food, they cleaned, they took care of the kids and never complained about being equal. We got to stop talking about being traditional and only using men paying bills. Traditional was a mutual agreement between a man. It wasn't a mutual agreement. It was a necessity. in order for a woman to survive, she needed a man because she didn't have rights. So she needed a man. Now that women have rights and y'all still want to play these roles, it's a mental illness to me. It's mental illness. It's a mental illness. She broke it down. The only thing y'all could do is pick it up. That was pretty forward and clear, but also when asking a woman how she provides, aka brings to the table, remember that you're asking her for provision. This will turn on her masculine energy, and just allowing her to put forth through action in the past was the second largest part of how a man decided who his life mate would be. Outside of, can she bear a child to carry on my lineage? Then again, we're in a different time, and some men are okay with dying and not having a legendary history. So all of the above only fits if you're actually a traditional man. How households were ran was forced and made to look traditional because women did not have rights to do anything without a man. When one speaks of tradition, you have to look at the time period and context. Women working now can also be considered traditional. Men and women can be realistic for what will sustain their households and lifestyles. If you are a man with money, it takes a certain woman to deal with your lifestyle. A man with no money, it takes a certain type of woman to deal with that lifestyle also. If you're a woman looking for a man with money and you have none, you need to understand what that comes with. If you're a woman with money giving grace to a broke man, you need to know what comes with that too. Don't give him grace, child. It all breaks down to being honest. Seeking what you like and what will be good for you are two different things that takes deep self-reflection. Shout out to this comment, Brooklyn Ruby. That is what I'm talking about. Like, you have to understand the context and time, and what y'all want to do is play a role in this fantasy game. Like, I want to be traditional. Girl, okay. Are you sure? Shit. Well, that's the end of that. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Let's see what else is going on. Let's go back to the Jasmine brand and see if we have one more thing to talk about here. Tory Lanez facing a minimum of 9 years after motion to file for a new trial in the Megan Thee Stallion shooting case was denied. Sentencing scheduled for June 13th. Tory Lanez will not get a new trial for the 2020 shooting of Megan Thee Stallion. This is according to Judge David Hereford, who ruled from the bench a few moments ago. Tory Lanez will be sentenced on June 13th at 10:30 for shooting Megan Thee Stallion in 2020. Judge Hereford set the date a few minutes ago after the hearing, hearing a final comment from Lane's lawyer on the rejected motion for trial. A final decision regarding Tory Lanez's guilty verdict appeal has been made. According to legal affairs journalist Megan Cuniff, the court judge recently denied the Canadian musician's request for a new trial after he was found guilty of shooting Megan Thee Stallion. Reportedly, Judge David Hereford handed down the ruling yesterday, May 9th. Cuniff, who was present at the time of the ruling, reported that Hereford went through the 7 main arguments from Lanez's lawyers and dismantled each one. He concluded there were no errors, but he also said even if he concluded each error existed, the errors didn't have material effect on the outcome of the trial to warrant a new trial, adding, Judge Hereford, in the end, the jury believed the prosecution's case beyond a reasonable doubt. He called out Lanez's lawyers for not mentioning any of the other evidence against Lanez when they focused on perceived problems with some evidence. As previously reported, Lanez-born Daystar Peterson, 30, was found guilty for the 2020 shooting of Megan Thee Stallion Pete, 28. The pair reportedly got into a verbal argument, which escalated into Lanez firing several bullets at the Savage rapper. Megan was required to get a stitching on her injured foot, and Lanez ultimately convicted of assault with a semi-automatic firearm, having a loaded, unregistered firearm in a vehicle, and discharging a firearm with gross negligence. Following the 2020 guilty conviction, Lanez fired and rehired his legal team in hopes of successfully appealing the ruling. The new legal claim The new legal team claimed his old representation misled the jury with incorrect evidence and poorly presented Lanez during the trial. However, it seems a court judge did not agree. Lanez's appeal was denied and he is scheduled for sentencing June 13th. After a recent court session concluded, Deputy DA Alex Bott stated the minimum time given for a case like this is typically 9 to 22 years, adding, I think anytime you point a gun at someone and pull the trigger 5 times, that's an action that can easily kill a person. This is from the Jasmine brand, and we hope to see him get sentenced and, do the time for the crime.
Send that nigga to jail, period.
I know he got up there and was telling the judge, if your son did this and look at me as a son and this and that and all this other stuff. And girl, you were harassing Megan after the story. You had the baby on stage. Y'all was doing a lot of things to Megan. You are a menace to society. You need to be locked up. You have a pattern of violent behavior towards people, always hitting somebody, jumping up, your little buckles running down the hallway. We hear them coming. Here comes Tory Lanez. He's getting ready to jump up and hit somebody. His little feet swinging in the air as he jumps up and hits another person. You need to stay your ass right in jail and do the time for the crime. So that's all that I have to say about that. Anyways, y'all, that's pretty much it. It's been about 30 minutes. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. Let's get down in the comments. Let me know about the stories, your opinions about the stories that we talked about. Again, take care of each other. Protect your energy. Let's get down in the comments. Peace.